I see that there are people in the chat already, so I assume that there are people already joining. So good afternoon from cold Den Haag, and welcome to this session titled Building Water Sector Expertise to Address the Sustainable Development Goals. My name is Raül Glotzbach. I'm a project manager with the Netherlands Water Partnership, focusing on our activities in Africa. Before jumping into the agenda, which will be on the next slide, I see some of you have already seen it, but on the top right-hand side, you'll see a chat box. I would like to invite you to share with the others in this session where you're connecting from and who you are. And we'll also be using this chat box to also get your questions during the presentations. The agenda for today, today's session will explore the engagement opportunities in Ghana and how, through the example of the Young Expert Program, the Netherlands is building the right expertise in the Netherlands and in Ghana to engage internationally while contributing to the achievement of the SDGs through knowledge transfer, innovation, and new technologies. We will start with a short presentation on the Netherlands Water Partnership and our Africa strategy, followed by a brief presentation on the Water Support Program. My colleague Vincent Cornelissen, who is a project manager with the Netherlands Water Partnership, will then present on the Young Expert Program with a pitch from a Yepper who is active in Ghana. This is a pre-recorded pitch, so hopefully we won't encounter any technical difficulties to show these to you. We will round off the session with examples of engagement opportunities in the water sector in Ghana by Job Udo, who is the strategic advisor on water for the Dutch Embassy in Ghana. And as mentioned before, throughout the session, if you do have any questions, please feel free to post these in the chat. During or after each presentation, we'll look to address these questions. Also, at the end of the session, we will have a set of questions which we'd like to ask you using the poll functionality, but we'll get to that when we're there. Jumping then into the first presentation on the Netherlands Water Partnership. In 1997, the first World Water Forum took place in Marrakesh, Morocco. Several Dutch organizations and governmental agencies attended the forum without any sort of cooperation or joint message. And after the forum, the Dutch water sector and the government saw the greater need for collaboration and presenting a joint message. As such, this led to the foundation of NWP in 1999 as a public-private partnership to foster that collaboration between the Dutch water sector with the goal to reach out internationally. This may not be new to many of us, but water is one of the most pressing issues of our time. Too much water, too much water, you can think about floods, or too little water, drought, and too polluted water. And 20 years after the founding of NWP, we still believe that through forging partnerships, we can solve these global water challenges. Addressing the water challenges can lead to increased livability and economic viability. Therefore, addressing them are opportunities in themselves, so to speak. We know that the Dutch water sector has a lot of expertise when it comes to water management, and we know that the Dutch water sector wants to continue seeking ways to share this knowledge and expertise and experience and to learn from others. The Netherlands Water Partnership is therefore a strong network organization of about 200 Dutch water organizations consisting of knowledge institutes, public sector, private sector, NGOs, and so forth. We want to enable the sector to work abroad on co-creating future-proof solutions and catalyzing global water impact. This is done by engaging on cross-cutting themes and expertise such as finance for water, water and agri-food, and so forth, engaging on a regional and country level or in various programs, two of which will be discussed later, the Water Support Program and the YEP program. Essentially, NWP is looking for ways to link the Dutch water sector to opportunities abroad to enable the sector to contribute to solving the global water challenges while growing its global reach and business success. With respect to the strategy for Africa, the approach is the same, generally speaking, to the strategy, of course, of NWP. Essentially, we want to create added value for the Dutch water sector in Africa. And we want to do this by providing focused market intelligence. This is understanding the Africa water sector, so looking at the governance structures, the business culture, relevant contacts, important funders, and so forth. Looking at the comprehensive Dutch business intelligence, so understanding our members, their needs, their priorities, their offerings, and understanding also the different Dutch funds available, such as those coming from RVO, but the FMO, and also looking at existing Dutch programs and so forth. Based on the focused market intelligence and the comprehensive Dutch business intelligence, we want to then create that innovative value creation. And this is perhaps the core process in which we bring that added value. We bring together the right African market and the African market intelligence and the Dutch business intelligence together. And based on result-oriented project management, which we would execute internationally, oriented water projects and programs, we can gather that market intelligence, we can gather that business intelligence and enable the sector's engagement. This map just shows an indication of where we're active in Africa. Of course, as NWP, we're active globally, but through the various programs, so the water sport program, which we'll present later on, YEP, but also other programs such as the West Africa Coastal Area Management Program, which is this one in green. We're active in a select number of countries in West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, and also in the northern part of Africa as well. The water support program, which I'll present on shortly, and you'll see also a map of that, contributes to most of our engagement in Africa, excluding the activities of YEP. And that is 8 countries in total, including Benin, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Mali, Mozambique, Rwanda, and South Sudan. And you'll see later on in the presentation a slide which Vincent will present on the Young Expert Program, which you'll see the coverage of Africa being even greater. And today's focus will be larger in Ghana, and hence the reason for Yob Udo's participation and his presentation later. With that, we'll jump into the first program, which is the support program, and I'll keep this also short. The water support program is an advisory program established by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs and implemented jointly by the Netherlands Development Enterprise as well as Netherlands Water Partnership. We have both our respective roles within that. Essentially, the program supports the Dutch embassies in 11 partner countries. I'll show a map of that again, and those are the countries I mentioned just previously. And the emphasis is strongly on sustainable development in the partner countries. There are 4 result areas, which include advising Dutch embassies on the theme of water through their multi-annual country strategies, contributing to strong bilateral relationships between the Dutch water sector and local water sectors. By local water sectors, we mean in the partner countries, contributing to an informed Dutch water sector. So looking at updating the sector on opportunities, networking opportunities, addressing the financial instruments available that can be applied. And lastly, contributing to an informed and knowledgeable local water experts at the embassies. This is just a sort of governance structure of how the program works. We have the REGI team, or the program management team, excuse the double T there, which consists of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, RVO, and NWP. Ministry of Foreign Affairs being the client and the funder. But we also have the Dutch embassies, who are the country-specific clients, so to speak. And under the umbrella of the project management, we have the NWP project officers, who are providing some support to the strategic advisors, who are country-specific advisors, and Yob Udo is an advisor, for example, for the country Ghana. And they're essentially the ones who are executing the program. And as I mentioned before, RVO and NWP have their respective roles, but essentially, collectively, we're supporting with information about the financial and policy tools, the contacts with the Dutch water sector, organizing work visits for the local embassy staff, and so forth. This slide shows the distribution of countries within the program. And as I mentioned before, the focus of today will be on Ghana. With that, I would like to then invite Vincent to talk to us a bit about the YEP program. And if I see any questions coming in through the chat, then I will be sure to also respond with the chat.
Thank you, Raül, for the introduction. And indeed, now allow me to zoom into the YEP program, and later on in the presentation, also specifically YEP in and with Ghana, organizations from Ghana. My name is Vincent Cornelissen, as said, and I'm a project manager for NWP. NWP is the host, so to say, of the YEP program bureau, but we're not focusing solely on water, but also on agri-food and energy. But today, of course, during this session, it will be more on water. Raül, if you can go to the next slide, it provides an overview of the YEP program. Basically, the program entails a kickstart for young professionals, 0 to 4 years of working experience on average, creating a next generation that contributes to the SDGs. And we do that via Dutch organizations. You see a few of them in the right corner. Dutch organizations can apply for a young expert position, and we provide the young experts with training and coaching. The Dutch organizations implement and hire the young experts in one of the given countries. We can place young experts in over 70 countries, so 70. And Ghana, of course, is one of them. Our program is co-financed by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which means that part of the costs to hire a young expert are subsidized. The training and coaching, I'll zoom into that later on, is beneficial for both the young experts and the organizations. If you can go to the next slide. Thank you. And one more. One of the focus areas, as said, is water. NWP is the network organization behind the water themes within the YEP program. And basically we say SDG 6, but also 17 are the major SDGs we strive to work on via YEP water. Now, what to specify it a little bit further, you can see these 3 themes. So we're talking about efficient water management, improved river basin management, and WASH activities. This means that young experts that work for the Dutch organizations or their local counterparts in the given countries I'll show you later, these young experts have to work on one of these themes in order to be part of our network. A few statistics. If you go to the next slide, you see an overview of where we are today. We started in 2013, have had 21 batches, groups of young experts starting. Every year, 3 groups of about 30 young experts start, which means that we have now over 550 young experts worldwide. As said in the beginning, we strive to create a next generation of young experts, inclusive, a global network. Maybe you can even call it a movement, which means that after the program that runs for 1 or 2 years, it's important for us to see if the alumni young experts are still working for the water sector in this case. And as you can see, 90% still do, which is a good number to see. And also we strive, and we didn't manage to do so looking at the presenters today, but we strive for a 50-50 male-female participation within YEP. We're almost there, but not quite yet. And over 120 organizations are participating in our program so far. If you go to the next slide, Raül, you can see a snapshot of the partners, not all partners, but it provides an overview, and you can see the diversity. And so we have NGOs, we have dredgers, we have private sector companies, knowledge institutes, all kinds of organizations that participate within the program. And that defines basically the Young Expert Program. It does not really matter what kind of organization you are, as long as you work on the Sustainable Development Goals, on the specific themes I mentioned in a given country. The specific criteria will be shared later on, but it provides quite a global and exclusive, let's say, network, both for organizations and young experts, because someone working on a specific project in, for example, Peru, is via the YEP program in touch with someone from Ghana, and they both can address or face maybe the same issue, and one could be offering a solution he or she otherwise would never hear. But let's dive a little bit deeper into what's in it for the young professionals, then what's in it for the organizations, and then the criteria, for example. Well, for the young professionals, as said, kickstart of their international career. We make a division between local and Dutch young experts. Dutch young experts are from the Netherlands working abroad, for example, in Ghana. The local young experts are, for example, from Ghana, usually come to the Netherlands for the training and coaching we offer, and then go back to Ghana to work for the Dutch organization in Ghana. As you all know, we have to digitalize because of the COVID virus. So our trainings and coaching sessions are now, unfortunately, online, but we hope we can offer them in the Netherlands again by the end of next year. A lot of young professionals want to create impact, want to have impact, want to contribute to the SDGs. That's something we offer. It's also something we offer is a job opportunity, usually for international vacancies. Organizations use the criteria of having, for a junior position, for example, 10 years of working experience. Well, for the YEP, within the YEP program, we say, well, we have to limit that in order to create a really young next generation by saying you can have a maximum of 4 years of working experience instead of a minimum. Again, we offer training and coaching, intercultural cooperation, set 550 young experts over 40 countries. That creates this global network. For organizations, it's more or less the same. If we go to the next 2 slides, yes, for the organizations, one, of course, rejuvenation and innovation. The water sector, especially a few years ago, was quite, let's say, gray and bold. So the program helps to get young people on board. As said, it's a subsidy program, so they get a financial compensation to hire young experts. If they haven't defined or found a young expert yet, we can help the organizations by finding a suitable candidate. We organize these training and coaching sessions for the young experts, which creates a kind of a safety net to invest in young people instead of a little bit more experienced people, so to say. And for example, we organize also network activities for the mentors, so for the organizations. So not only the young experts meet each other and learn from each other, but also the organizations themselves. One slide about the learning tracks. So what we offer, I think it's maybe too small to read for everyone, but in short, and I presume we can share the slides afterwards. And Peter, I see your question in the chat. I will come back to you in a minute. What we offer is a 1 or 2 year program. The start training is year 1, and the return training is year 2. That's an option for the organizations and YEPers to participate. We offer throughout the year online masterclasses and coaching sessions, and all learning tracks. As you can see, it's on, let's say, context. So what does the SDGs mean? It's about communication, how to present yourself, but also via video and digitally. There's a focus on intercultural leadership, business development, entrepreneurship, but the main focus is personal development. So the young experts won't get a lot of, let's say, technical tools per se, but more tools to develop them professionally to become a young expert. So really kickstart of their career. And Peter asks, indeed, how do you become a mentor or coach for the YEP candidates? Well, that goes together with the applicant organization. The Dutch organization can apply for a young expert. For example, NWP joined us a few times. So NWP wrote a proposal. We approved the proposal. We approved their candidate. And one of the colleagues, so to say, of NWP automatically becomes the mentor of the YEPer. The next slide shows kind of a summary, an overview of what we do, and we put YEP right in the middle. We define basically 3 major, let's say, pillars or circles, if you will. The young experts, the Dutch top sectors, and the sustainable world. The top sectors, water, agri-food, and energy was added this year. The top sectors, name it the Dutch Diamond, the NGOs, water utilities, knowledge institutes, all participate within the YEP program. We build bridges between these organizations and these teams, also within and in between the young experts. Not only the young experts that start in the same batch each year, but also we organize activities through all different batches. So we have 21 batches now, and young experts from batch 1 also meet the YEPers from batch 21. We bridge between the local and Dutch young experts. As said, half of all the young experts of the 550 are Dutch, other half are local. And of course, building bridges between youth and knowledge, experience of the organizations and the SDGs, and also aid and trade if you look at all the different organizations that participate. And I see a question from Rana on how COVID-19 is affecting the Young Experts program and the work on the ground, and what it will entail for next year. Well, that's a good question. As said, the training will be digitally, and still we have offered trainings digitally this year, and we're going to do that at least the first half of next year as well. Hopefully not the whole year, but if it's necessary, it's necessary. But it depends. Some young experts are able to go to the countries and work there. Some young experts, especially local young experts, are of course already in country. When you talk about the Dutch young experts, we have over almost 70 active Dutch young experts who are currently in the program. And I think almost all of them are back in the country they work in. So when the pandemic started, beginning of this year, almost all of them flew back to the Netherlands. But now you see a reaction back to the countries for at least, I think, maybe 80 or 90% of them. So, and it also means, as for us, a lot of work maybe from distance and maybe postponing field work. But luckily for the most of them, the activities can continue one way or another. Briefly, the criteria, because now you have seen all the information about the program. It's just a snapshot of what we do and what we offer, but how can you actually participate in the program? And looking at, we're not sure if, for example, here potential young experts are online and or organizations, but for organizations, as said, you can participate if you have a Dutch office. So a Chamber of Commerce is an important check for us in order to participate. That does not mean that young experts solely work for Dutch organizations, but the applicant organization needs to be Dutch, but the young expert can work for their local counterpart in the given country. Of course, the USO guidelines apply as for all, being a good employer, basically. No staking of subsidies. As said, the Young Expert Program is a subsidy program. So in order to hire a young expert, 50% of the costs are financed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The other 50% needs to be financed by the own organization, but cannot be paid for by other Dutch subsidies. Otherwise, you get the stacking of subsidies. The minimus declaration is it may be too technical for now to mention, but it's only for local young experts that work for a private sector company. The other one is quite important. The Young Expert Program, as said, is mainly focused on personal development, and we offer them a lot of training and coaching, but we do ask the organizations to also be a mentor and the guidance for the young expert, and to provide them with not only assistance or technical assistance, but also help them in achieving their personal development goals. So that's a really important part of the organization's applications where we look at. Of course, safety well-being is important, especially, of course, this year. We as a YEP program, follow the advice of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but in the end, it's up to the young expert and the organization, them and itself. And of course, as said, in order to participate, you have to have a project in one of the countries we work in, and we use the Dutch Good Growth Fund list. Now, if you go to the next slide, you see the application form. Just briefly, in order to apply for young expert position as an organization, you have to hand in a form. These are the elements of this form, and 3 times a year, we are open for new applications. The deadlines are on our website, and we'll make sure to share them with you after the session. But 3 times a year, we are open for applications. 30 young experts per group, 15 Dutch, 15 local. More on that, I think the 7th of February is the next deadline for applications. But more on that on our website. I'll make sure to share it with you. If you look at the young expert, if you're a potential young expert or are interested in the program, you either are Dutch or you have the local nationality. And what we mean by that is that a young expert from Ghana can only work in Ghana. So in order to apply and willing to work in Ghana, you have to actually have a residence in Ghana, in this case. All communication is in English. Training, coaching for Ghana, that won't be a problem, but for some other countries that might be a bigger challenge. So we really test the young experts on their English language skills. We do look at education of most young experts have a university degree, but at least it needs to be a bachelor's degree. And as said, we don't look at a minimum years of working experience, but at a maximum. And with regards to relevant working experience, we mean that, for example, if you already work in the water sector and you apply for a water sector position, then we say, well, then 4 years is the max. Otherwise, you become a not a young expert anymore. Otherwise, if you've done a totally different job, we say 8 years is the maximum after your primary education. Well, the selection, as said, the next page is that we either do the selection and interviews for the organizations, but we can only do that for the Dutch young experts because we can't do the whole selection process in the 71 countries. So we ask if you want to apply as a local young expert or as an organization to hire a local expert to do the work basically for us, but we can help you in defining criteria and doing the interviews with the candidates. For the Dutch young experts, we can do that. We organize kind of so-called speed dates. So we have interviews with young experts and basically say to an organization, well, by means of our application process, these 3, 2, or 5 candidates are the best fit. It's up to you to choose. And again, we aim for gender balance 50-50. Almost at the end of the overview of YEP, but not before a few more slides. One of them is, of course, important, is the financial support. And we have to talk about what does it cost or what does it gain, so to say, to participate in YEP. For a Dutch young expert, 40,000 euros a year is available as a subsidy. And for local experts, it's 12,000 euros. The own organization, so the organization that participates in the program from the Netherlands, needs to pay at least 50% of the total costs in both cases. The local and Dutch young experts have been offering the same training and coaching, which basically means, if you look at these numbers of subsidies, is that the Dutch young experts also invest a little bit in the training of the local young experts, as the subsidy amount is lower for these for the local young experts. This amount is per organization per year, and we offer positions in the water, agro, and energy sector. Briefly now, the link to Ghana. And I think I'm almost running out of time, but briefly link to Ghana. We, as said, can place young experts in 70 countries. The Dutch Good Growth Fund list is the list we have to apply. I think Kenya is the country with the most young experts. It's almost 80. I think it's 79 at this moment. Ghana has about 33. So if you go to the next slide, you can see an overview of our young experts in Ghana. I've added a link in the slides. So if you are able to share the slides, you can click on the link. You see all the young experts in Ghana with information, where they worked and what their projects, what the projects entail. And if you look at the logos, you see the diversity of organizations that have been participating in Ghana via YEP. Those organizations you can see are Dutch based, but it does not mean again that the young experts are working for them in the country, but they can also work for the local counterpart. I've asked YEPers to, and we usually do that, to help us preparing these sessions. And in this case, also looking at the time, I would suggest if we can show the video of Barnabas, because I can talk about the program and I can sell, so to say, the program, but it's better to use it from the YEPers themselves. So I presume for now, let's share the video of Barnabas, and then I'll finish my presentation for now. Let's see if it works.
Yes, I will press play now.
Hi, my name is Barnabas, and I'm alumni for the YEP program by 7. I'm currently full-time. I run my own startup called Research Line. We conduct a series of trainings and also field data collection for organizations. I joined the YEP program through GNBCC, which is Ghana Netherlands Business and Culture Council. I was seeking to get somebody who can link them to the water sector in Ghana. They wanted to know more about the companies and who is who in the water sector. And I kind of serve as the person that linked them to the companies in the sector. The information that I was able to gather was regards to who is who in the sector, enable them when it comes to organizing of trade missions, business B2B collaborations, and also helping organizations that want to come and then establish in Ghana. And I I think it has been very successful because of the training that we got from the YEP program. There were quite a lot of learning and sharing of knowledge through those platforms. Even though we have completed, I think, 2-3 years, we are still in touch with most of our colleagues across the world through the platform that has been created by the YEP group, and then also the various masterclasses. So for me, I think it has really been very exciting being in the YEP family, and I am always very curious to know what is next that I want to talk about. Was the kind of training that we got through the YEP. There were a lot of mentors and there were a lot of coaches that helped us in starting our career and being able to figure out what exactly we want to do with our life. So I want to recommend the YEP program to young professionals that want to start something either in the water sector or want to really understand the platforms in which they want to start their career. So thank you very much.
All right, so that was one of the alumni Yeppers. Apom Barnabas started in 2015, so 5 years ago. He's an alumni Yepper, but still involved in the network. And I think one of the important things he mentions, besides the training and coaching we offer them, is that he's indeed part of this global network and that he still is in contact with his fellow Yeppers and learn from them and share experiences. And also for the, let's say, new Yeppers in Ghana, we also stimulate that they meet each other, learn from each other, and organize interesting events with each other. For now, I think Raül, we can go 2 slides down, and then the one of Femke we will leave for now. So in conclusion, the YEP program works on the water sector, works in the water sector, the agri-food sector, the renewable energy sector. But basically, the SDGs you see on the right-hand side, these 9 are the major SDGs we work on via the Dutch organization. And well, one of the quotes of one of our steering committee members you can see on the left-hand side, but it's about young talent, really investing in human capital. If you can go to the latest slide, we see that these the next generation, so to say, the kickstart of the career, creating a next generation of 550 young experts already. They're provided with a so-called hands-on international experience, both for Dutch young experts and local young experts, all part of the same network. And you see on the background this kind of a YEP bag someone has. We also have our YEP doppers, and even though young experts haven't met each other, it happened that one young expert on a given how do you call it? It's somewhere around the world. Was drinking out of his dopper, and another young expert saw the dopper, and they are getting in touch, and apparently they were both Yeppers. So we tried to create this common ground as well that hopefully lasts for a long time from the start. I think that's in conclusion. Maybe I run a little bit out of time, but please, Raül or Job, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Vincent, for your presentation, and thank you also, Rana and Peter, for your questions to Vincent. I'd like to now invite Job to talk about the opportunities for water sector engagement, specifically for Ghana. Job.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody, and thanks, Raül and Vincent. I will talk a little bit about specific opportunities for the water sector in general in Ghana. As Raül mentioned, I'm strategic advisor on water for Ghana, and Raül also already explained the program under which I do this work. So let's go to Ghana, Akwaba. Welcome to Ghana. So Ghana is a stable democracy. Actually, they had elections last week. It has a stable economic growth, at least before the COVID-19 pandemic. But we hope that once that is dealt with, hopefully everything will get back to normal quickly. In Ghana, there's a Dutch embassy in Accra, and they have experts in trade, water, agriculture, and also waste and circular economy. They're open to help whenever needed. Next slide. So in my work as strategic advisor on water, I collaborate with the Dutch embassy on a number of themes for which we try to engage initiative that will help Ghana developing its water challenges and also the Dutch water sector in general. The themes that we work on are flood protection, coastal protection and rehabilitation, WASH or water sanitation and health, water governance, waste and circular economy, mainly plastics, and then agriculture and also agriculture and water, so irrigation, and of course climate resilience. You can go. Thank you. So I will now shortly present a few very concrete leads that we are engaged in. The first is in the theme of flood protection. So we are engaged in a World Bank coordinated program called GERIT. This program targets flood protection in Accra and beyond. Actually, it targets Greater Accra. The first phase, which is now ongoing, is about $200 million of loan. And of this 200 million, about 100 million will be used for flood protection. And from that 100 million, there will be about 40 million on dredging. And for the dredging, the Dutch government with RVO is supporting the Ghanaian government with technical assistance and contract management in this dredging component. Other relevant components for this program are slum upgrading and waste management. So this is just the first phase. There are actually 3 phases expected over a longer period, about 10 years or so. And the total program is estimated to be between 800 million and $1 billion. There are definitely opportunities in this program, mainly for consultancy, design, construction, dredging, and waste related firms and organizations. And a lot of the information on, for instance, tender procedures and what topics will be tendered are all available on the World Bank country website of Ghana. Next slide. Coastal protection, as was already shortly mentioned by Raül. There's, again, a World Bank coordinated program called the West Africa Coastal Area Management Program. It's about $2 billion for the coming 4 or 5 years or so. Recently, this program targeted 6 West African countries, but it's recently expanded with Ghana and several other countries. For Ghana, they're in the so-called pre-feasibility stage. So it is assessed what type of projects will be developed under the WACA program for Ghana. Again, there is quite a lot of information available on the website of the WACA program. And in this also, there are quite a lot of opportunities, again, for consultancy, design, construction, and dredging, and other coastal management-related organizations and firms. Next. The WASH theme, so water, sanitation, and health. As some of you might know, the Dutch embassy in Ghana has coordinated a very large 100 million euro plus program the last years in the field of water, sanitation, and health. This is ending next year, but it included a lot of very interesting projects on this theme, which were set up as so-called PPP, public-private partnership projects. So although the program itself is ending, the projects are also ending. There is really a lot of experience available on these type of projects, both at the embassy but also at RVO, who together coordinated this program. You can see the website on which you can find all the information on the different projects. And in general, I think if there are firms or organizations that are interested in working in this field, then it is very worthwhile to contact the experts, the relevant experts, and seek for their advice if needed. Next slide. This topic is water governance. So there are a number of Dutch water boards or Dutch water authorities that have signed a collaborative program together with the Ghanaian water authorities. It's called the Blue Deal. It runs until 2030, and it targets the water governments in northern Ghana and the Volta Delta. So what is very nice about this program, that it's really a long-term commitment where they collaborate with the Ghanaian water authorities. And although they have limited budget, it is very useful for networking and if relevant for fund absorption. And I really see opportunities here for firms or institutions in the water sector in Ghana that are looking for, let's say, the boots on the ground, local networks, and perhaps also linking of projects to the themes that are relevant under the Blue Deal. Next slide. Plastics and circular economy. This is an initiative that has just started. Obviously, plastics, like in many other countries, is also in Ghana quite a big issue. So the government of Ghana with RVO and the Dutch embassy, as well as the GSZ, the German Development Institute, are in the process of signing an MOU on the management of plastic pollution. If you are interested in this topic, again, please contact. Of course, you can also contact me, but also the relevant experts at the embassy or at RVO. Next slide, please. The water and agri. So there is a regional agricultural expert in Accra, based at the Dutch embassy, and together we initiated what we call the Blue-Green program for Ghana. And this program until now has especially been developing very good knowledge base on irrigation issues in Ghana, and also a very good local and international network. And currently we are talking with different organizations to position and ourselves in terms of the Dutch embassy on a very large irrigation project that is planned in northern Ghana. So the discussions on how this will be developed are still ongoing, but it's definitely relevant for firms or institutions that are active in the agricultural or irrigation sector to keep this in mind. And if needed, of course, they can ask for information from my side or at the Dutch embassy. Next slide. That was already it. So these are some of the concrete leads and opportunities that I wanted to mention. It was a bit fast, I guess. And if you need any specific information, you can contact me. I will be working as strategic advisor throughout the next year as well, until the end of the year. And I'm available to help or answer any questions in these fields.
Yes, thank you very much, Job. There's a question for you, Vincent.
Let's see, I have a question for Vincent. What attributes does someone need to have in order to be? Okay, good question. What we basically ask if we interview young experts, if they are, let's say, a fit for the program, is that we look that we basically say or state the activities you do and the work you will be doing in a given country. You can do that also without the YEP program. So what will be the added value of YEP for you? And as we focus on personal development, we really want young experts part of the program that are willing to learn, willing to be, let's say, open-minded, learn also from each other. That means not only from the program, but also from fellow YEPers, being open for new ideas, being culture sensitive. Maybe someone from Myanmar might have an interesting idea you as a Dutch young expert can implement. So being open-minded, I would say, being, let's say, willing to learn and willing to share. So those are some important features of a young expert that we look at. But Dana has also a question for Job, I see at the bottom. What are the main problems you encountered in Ghana while implementing the projects?
Yeah, that's a interesting one, and very difficult to answer, I guess. So I also worked as a consultant in Ghana, so I can tell you a little bit from that experience. And what I learned is that the projects that we do, it is quite essential that there is that presence is needed in Ghana. So when you do a project and you try to do it, let's say, remotely, which is now, of course, no other way at the moment, but if you make agreements and you go back and then expect things are continuing, that is not always the case. So local presence is through, well, your own presence there, or through a local partner, or even a YEP young expert there is one of the is very, very important to have a successful project implementation.
And as we have still a bit time, I would suggest to take this one to the front, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The added value for organizations to participate are not only twofold, I would say manifold, but it comes down to a few things. One is, of course, the financial compensation, the subsidy. It's interesting for organizations to, if they have projects abroad and want to invest in your experts, to do it via our program, because part of the cost will be subsidized, so to say. But that's the obvious one. But what we find important for organizations, and that's also what we strive for, is that organizations really want to invest in your experts and want local presence. Especially now with local experts, you get, let's say, boots on the ground if yourself, maybe from the Netherlands, are not able to travel. So that's an important one. So the financial compensation, local presence. We could also we always say the ears and the eyes in the field. So they see and learn maybe a lot more because of their presence than working from a distance or from the Netherlands. And also having this potential new, maybe champion, so to say, the next generation where you invest in. So it's manifold, and also and the global network is also part of the advantages, because it happened more than once that organizations met each other via the YEP program that ended up into common projects or new. Let's say new ideas or new activities as well. So it's basically manifold, and we see that also in the evaluations we share or we receive, let's say, from the organizations, that those kind of besides the subsidy, the networking, the local presence, the eyes and the ears, those are all the benefits of the program. But yeah, we're also looking at Job, who is.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. I've been working. We've been contracting several YEP persons, and maybe added to that is what we see is that this pressure cooker environment for a YEPper really accelerates the development of experience there. So when you would normally have somebody which will take like 4 or 5 years to have a certain level of experience, especially in international work, of course, this YEPers, they gain that experience within a year. So what we see is that these YEPers are very are easily to be deployed on different projects. They work very individual. They're very. It's a very useful value to us, for instance, in this case.
Great, thank you both. I see we have 3 minutes left, so I will use that time to wrap up. So I'd like to thank once again Vincent and Job for your presentations and responses to the various questions. And I'd also like to thank the participants for your engagement and the questions as well to the speakers. On the screen, you'll see our contact details. So if you do have further questions, please feel free to reach out to us on our respective themes. So for myself, with questions relating to NWP and the water sport program, Vincent in respect to the Young Expert program, and Job with respect to Ghana and the opportunities to engage with the water sector. With that, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.